The transmission came through at 3 in the morning, standard Earth time. Admiral Helena Voss sat up in her quarters aboard the ISS Retribution, her heart already pounding before her eyes fully opened. She had been waiting for this moment for 6 weeks. 6 long weeks since the Magistracy of Cologne had arrested 47 human traitors on false charges of espionage. The message was brief and cold. High Magistrate Zovrik had issued his verdict. All 47 humans were found guilty. The sentence was permanent labor in the crystal mines of Cologne Prime. No appeal. No mercy. The magistracy considered the matter closed. Helena dressed quickly and walked to the bridge. Her crew watched her with silent respect as she took her command chair. The main screen showed the distant glow of Cologne Prime, a world of purple clouds and ancient cities. Somewhere down there, her people were being dragged to a living death. Commander James Chung approached her side. He had served with Helena for 12 years. He knew that look in her eyes. It was the look she got before making decisions that changed the course of history. "Admiral, we have received orders from Earth Command," Chung said quietly. "They want us to pursue diplomatic channels. The Senate is preparing a formal protest." Helena laughed, but there was no humor in it. "A formal protest. Our people are going to die in those mines. James, the Cologne use human prisoners because we last longer than other species. We can survive the radiation that kills the others in months. Our people will suffer for years before they finally break." Chung nodded slowly. He had read the same intelligence reports. The crystal mines were notorious across the galaxy. Species that entered them rarely came out. But humans, with their stubborn bodies and unbreakable spirits, could endure the horror for decades. "What are your orders, Admiral?" Helena stood and faced her crew. The bridge of the Retribution held 50 officers, all of them watching her. They were the best the Imperial fleet had to offer. They had fought pirates in the Outer Rim. They had held the line against the Rex Collective during the Border Wars. They had never failed her. "Contact the 3rd and 7th Fleets," Helena said. "Tell Admiral Morrison and Admiral Singh to bring every ship they have. We are going to Cologne Prime." The communications officer hesitated. "Admiral, that would be an act of war. The Magistracy has treaties with 6 other galactic powers. If we attack them, then we will fight 6 galactic powers," Helena replied simply. "Patch me through to Earth Command. I will explain our situation to the Senate myself." The next 3 hours were chaos. Helena argued with senators and generals. She presented evidence of the Magistracy's crimes. She showed them images from inside the mines, smuggled out by sympathizers who hated what their government had become. She showed them children working alongside adults. She showed them the mass graves. The Senate was divided. Half wanted to avoid war at any cost. Half demanded immediate action. In the end, the decision fell to President Marcus Webb. He was a former soldier himself. He had lost friends to alien cruelty in his youth. "Admiral Voss," President Webb said over the secure channel, "you have your orders. Bring our people home. Whatever it takes." The Imperial fleet gathered at the edge of Cologne space 2 days later. 147 warships formed a wall of metal and fire. The Magistracy sent urgent messages demanding an explanation. Helena ignored them all. High Magistrate Zovrik himself appeared on the main screen of the Retribution. He was tall and thin, with gray skin and eyes like black stones. His robes were red, the color of judgment among his people. "Admiral Voss, this is an outrage," Zovrik declared. "You have brought a war fleet to our borders without authorization. The Galactic Council will hear of this aggression." Helena leaned forward in her chair. "High Magistrate, you are holding 47 human citizens in your mines. They were arrested on false charges and sentenced without a fair trial. I am here to take them home." Zovrik's thin lips curled into something like a smile. "Those criminals were tried according to Magistracy law. Your human laws have no authority here. Turn your ships around or face the consequences." "The consequences," Helena repeated slowly. Let me tell you about consequences, High Magistrate. For 300 years, humanity has been exploring the stars. We have met species that welcomed us and species that feared us. We have made friends and enemies across 1,000 worlds. But there is one thing every species in this galaxy has learned about humans. When you hurt our people, we come for you. We do not forgive. We do not forget. And we do not stop. Zovrik's smile faded. You are threatening the magistracy? I am making you a promise. Release our citizens within the next 6 hours, or I will reduce your capital to ash. And then I will free them myself. The transmission ended. Helena sat back and waited. The magistracy's response came in the form of their own fleet. 300 ships emerged from behind Kalorn Prime, their weapons already charging. They outnumbered the human fleet more than 2 to 1. Admiral Morrison's voice crackled over the command channel. Helena, they have us badly outnumbered. Are you sure about this? Helena watched the enemy formation on her tactical display. The Kalorn ships were larger than human vessels, but they were slower and less maneuverable. Their weapons were powerful, but took longer to recharge. The magistracy had not fought a real war in centuries. They had grown soft and arrogant. All ships, this is Admiral Voss. Formation Omega. Target their command ships first. Show them what the Imperial fleet is made of. The battle began with a wall of light. Human ships fired their main cannons in perfect coordination, sending beams of plasma screaming across the void. The first wave of Kalorn vessels erupted into fireballs before they could even return fire. The magistracy's fleet scattered in confusion. They had expected the humans to retreat or negotiate. They had not expected an immediate attack. Their commanders shouted contradicting orders as human destroyers tore through their formations like wolves among sheep. Helena directed the battle with cold precision. She sent Admiral Singh's fast frigates around the enemy's flank, while Morrison's heavy cruisers punched through the center. The Retribution itself led the assault, its massive guns turning Kalorn battleships into debris. Within 2 hours, the magistracy's fleet was broken. 60 of their ships had been destroyed. Another 100 were drifting without power. The rest were retreating toward their homeworld, their crews too terrified to continue fighting. Helena opened a channel to the planet's surface. High Magistrate Zovrik, your fleet is defeated. You have 1 hour to surrender our citizens, or we begin orbital bombardment of your military installations. There was no response for 20 minutes. Then a new face appeared on the screen. It was a younger Kalorn, his gray skin pale with fear. Admiral Voss, I am Sub-Magistrate Lorvak. High Magistrate Zovrik has departed the capital. He has left me in charge. Please, we do not wish further conflict. Helena felt no sympathy for the young official. Then release our people. Now, it will be done. We are sending transport ships to the mines immediately. Your citizens will be delivered to your fleet within 3 hours. The waiting was the hardest part. Helena paced the bridge of the Retribution, watching the tactical display for any sign of treachery. But the magistracy was true to their word. Transport ships rose from the planet's surface, carrying the freed prisoners toward the human fleet. The first shuttle docked with the Retribution 90 minutes later. Helena went to the hangar bay to meet it personally. The door opened and the prisoners emerged. They were thin and pale, their bodies marked by weeks of hard labor. Some of them could barely walk. Medical teams rushed forward to help them, but many of the freed prisoners stopped to stare at their rescuers with tears in their eyes. An old woman approached Helena slowly. She had been a merchant captain before her arrest. Helena knew. Her ship had carried food supplies to frontier colonies. The magistracy had accused her of smuggling weapons. Admiral, the old woman said, her voice cracking. They told us no one was coming. They said humanity had abandoned us. They said we would die in those mines. Helena took the woman's hands gently. You should have known better. Humanity never abandons its own. The last prisoners were recovered 3 hours later. 47 humans, all alive, all free. Some would need months of medical treatment. Some would carry scars for the rest of their lives. But they were going home. Helena returned to the bridge for one final transmission. Sub-Magistrate Lorvak appeared on the screen, his fear now mixed with something like relief. Admiral Voss, the prisoners have been released as requested. We ask only that you withdraw your fleet peacefully. Helena nodded slowly. We will leave your space within the hour. But let me give you some advice, Sub-Magistrate. Spread the word to every government in this galaxy. Human lives are not bargaining chips. Human citizens are not tools for your political games. If any power tries to use our people against us, they will receive the same response you did today. Lorvik swallowed hard. The message will be delivered, Admiral. The Imperial fleet withdrew from Kalorn space as dawn broke over the enemy capital. They left behind the wreckage of a navy and the shattered pride of an empire. News of the battle spread across the galaxy within days. Species that had viewed humanity as weak traders and soft diplomats revised their opinions quickly. Helena received commendations and medals upon her return to Earth. President Webb shook her hand and called her a hero. The freed prisoners were reunited with their families in ceremonies broadcast across human space. But Helena cared nothing for the praise. On the night of her homecoming, she sat alone in her quarters, watching the stars through her viewport. She thought about the 47 people she had saved. She thought about the thousands more humans scattered across the galaxy, living and working among alien species. They were merchants and scientists, diplomats and explorers. They built friendships and forged alliances. They believed in peace and cooperation. But they also knew the truth that Helena had demonstrated over Kalorn Prime. Humanity was kind. Humanity was generous. Humanity was patient. But humanity was also dangerous. When pushed too far, when their own were threatened, humans became something ancient and terrible. They became warriors without mercy, soldiers without fear. They burned fleets and toppled governments. They reached across the stars with iron hands. The galaxy had learned this lesson many times before. Each time, they seemed to forget. Each time, humanity was forced to remind them. Helena closed her eyes and smiled grimly. She had no doubt that another reminder would be needed someday. Some alien government would grow bold and cruel. Some foreign magistrate would think humans were easy targets. And when that day came, the Imperial fleet would be ready. Helena would be ready. Humanity would answer.